Somebody gonna fucking write on my page. He goes, I really want to understand more about interdimensional shifts and parallel realities. I understand generally going up in dimension, but going across in dimensions. Is that the same as going across in parallel realities? Or from one part of the multiverse to another part of the multiverse? Does the term interdimensional shift refer to the term parallel reality shift? Or shifting to a parallel universe? Or is it a different kind of phenomenon? Well, cool. That's cool. People is asking me questions. That's the first time anybody ever asked me a question. I love answering questions. So yeah, let me answer that question. As far as what I understand is what Bashar says is, and I think this is like a new idea for me, multiverse. Thinking about it seriously, only last 6 months or so, I heard Bashar, and then all of a sudden it seems like everybody's talking about it. So maybe it's new for everybody. I don't know, but yeah, the endless now. But yeah, okay. So interdimensional shifts versus parallel realities. Ooh, it's different. It's very different. Interdimensional shift is different from parallel reality. Parallel reality is this dimension. Interdimensional shift would be to another dimension. So let's start by giving an analogy, and then I'll explain it. And then I'll explain it scientifically, and I'll try to get it under 10 minutes. Analogy would be interdimensional shift would be going up a floor in your building, going from first floor to second floor to third floor, And the higher floor you get, you look down, and it's like with see-through glass floors, with one-way see-through glass floors. So you can't look up, but you can look down. So you're on the 5th floor, you can look down, you can see the 4th, you can see the 3rd, you can see the below you. And you guys can walk around, and they can walk around, and you're looking down from the top, and they're walking around, they're not bumping into each other because they're on different valency levels. They're on different. So that's what an interdimensional shift would be. Like a ghost is in a different dimension than you, but he can walk right through you. A ghost can walk through the wall. Parallel reality is the same dimension as you. So a parallel reality would be like repainting your apartment building one day from purple to pink, and then half pink, half purple, and then so there's an infinite amount of parallel universes, just like there's an infinite amount of ways you can repaint your door, your room. But there's not an infinite amount of interdimensions, of different dimensions. There's only a certain number of them. Like your building only has 5 dimensions. I think there's only 15 dimensions in the universe. Now, the problem with different dimensions, the word that I think a lot of this confusion comes from, is scientists get well, at least semantically, get dimensions confused with parallel realities. Scientists would say, oh yes, there's 11 dimensions in the universe. No, what the scientists mean is that there's 11 parallel realities that they have detected with their instruments so far in the universe. As far as what I understand, scientists, these what do you call them, atomic scientists, the ones who do the CERN experiments, are horrible about explaining what the shit that they know. They're like retarded. It fucking pisses me off. But anyways, so that's basically what I know. But and the reason that they've detected 11 of them is because they crash it into each other, and then this little thing comes out, and then it has this little jiggle, and then that jiggle, and it's just different. So their theory is that it has a different signature. So like when the universe, the Big Bang was created, it had all the different signatures. So then there could be a parallel universe. Like that movie Sliders, where Jerry O'Connell goes to America, and it's the America where we still belong to England, and there's another one where the Ice Age happened, and it's just, and they keep doing it, and they can do it an infinite amount of times, and each time it's a different one. That's what scientists believe, is that, when the universe was created, all of our subatomic particles are in a certain shape, and they all fit together, and that's the universe they're in, and it was all created at the beginning of the universe. And so we live in the one with this shape, that are all beaming and flashing in this way. But then when the universe was created, there was another one that was like that, and then that lives in its own one. But you can actually move from this one to that one and that one with your mind, because in your mind you live in all of them. Because your soul is above that. Your soul lives on another dimension. which is a higher dimension than the parallel realities dimension of the third dimension that we live in now. So, since our soul lives in all of them, because our soul is part of God that's way in the higher dimensions, we can go down and we can experience all those dimensions. So it's up to our head, our soul, you know, which weighs 22 grams. It's a real thing to shift, yeah, from this parallel reality to that parallel reality. So, so yeah, if you know, so like that's how miracles happen. If you want to suddenly cure yourself of cancer, you just go, okay, I don't have cancer. I don't, and this is like a new age thing, idea, and a lot of people don't believe it, but I think it actually is true if you're good enough. And that, well, it's proven. It's proven. I don't have cancer. I don't have cancer. You just Jerry O'Connelled yourself into a parallel universe where you don't have cancer, and because there's an infinite amount of them, and you don't live in an infinite amount of them. Only the ones that are appropriate to you, but anyone that you can imagine, it does exist. You know, it only doesn't exist when you can't imagine it, and then it doesn't exist. So like if you have an idea, oh, I would like to be this, or maybe in one life I was that. Well, you actually are. And if you want to experience that life, then just go there, because it's the one that's appropriate for you. When your soul bifurcates and comes down here in this world, each fragment of your soul goes to a parallel universe that it wanted to go to. So if you suddenly feel like you're not in the right one, well then go to the right one. And it's that simple. You move around like that. You can always paint your apartment building a new color whenever you want. It doesn't matter, you know. You don't go, oh, I'm going to wait until tomorrow to paint my apartment building because I can't do it now. No, you just paint your apartment building and boom, your apartment building's blue, and you forgot about it ever being red or whatever. It's just blue. So that's what a parallel reality is. But there's not. But okay. But then let's see it. The dimensional shift. Is that the same as going across in parallel realities from one part of the universe to another part of the universe? Well, Bashar, as far as what I can understand, is Bashar does both. Bashar goes from one parallel universe to another parallel universe, but he also goes from one dimension to another dimension. So if you really think about this, it is freaking wild. So basically, what Bashar does, these aliens do, and probably a lot of other aliens do, is they go, let's go over to planet Earth so-and-so years ago, where they were doing this. And so then they go, okay, and they go over there, and they imagine that they're there, and they create themselves there. They travel across the universe, but that's another video, how physically how they do it. And I actually already did do a video about that. It's in one of my playlists. And they imagine it, and then boom, they're there. And they're talking to people doing that. So it's the same thing, and it's really wild to think about, is that once you're a space being in your own spaceship, you can go, okay, take me to a planet that the people are hairy and they wish they had less hair and they don't know how, and then I want to teach them how to do that. So then they go, okay, and they go there. They're like, take me to this planet where they want to do that, and they go to that parallel reality, and then they're helping them do that. So that basically proves that we're not going to have an Armageddon or a third world war, because the aliens are here talking to us and helping us out of it. Those aliens wouldn't even be here trying to help us out of it if they couldn't do it, and if they weren't going to help us out of it, because aliens don't like going around. Nobody likes going around the universe to fail. You know, if they were to go, if they, you know, so the one where we are going to fail, they're not even here bothering with us, because they know what kind of reality we're in. So that's pretty trippy. So yeah, that basically explains the infinite possibilities of the universe. So let's see. Yeah, shifting to a parallel universe you can do with your mind. And well, actually, they do it with their spaceship, which is alive, but they do it with shifting across. So no, you don't shift across in a dimension. You shift across in space, but you would stay in your dimension. So yeah, but I mean, you can go across and up at the same time. You know, you can go across to the next apartment on your same floor, on the higher level, if you want. So anyways, I'm out of time. That's the difference between interdimensional shift and parallel reality. If you like what I said, ask me another question. Let me answer more questions. It's so fun.